we're back.
We're back.
Woo! It's good to be back.
It is back. Good, Scott. I'm excited to be back.
Yeah,
Easter was a busy time around here.
It was. Yeah, we took a couple weeks off, though. You didn't know it.
That's right. We recorded some ahead of time.
Yes.
Jordan was super busy, our wonderful producer. And so
Sound man extraordinaire.
back to new episodes.
Yes.
And it's a good one today.
Is it?
It is. I think so.
I hope so.
That's right. We're talking golf.
Yes, I do love golf. Terrible at it, but I do love it.
That's right. The Masters was just recently. It's golf season, and we are trying to do good with some golf guys today.
Yeah, because they buy bikes with golf.
It is a really, really cool story of a life group that got inspired to help other people, and they started a golf tournament to do that. So we're going to tell you about their story today, how you can do good and play some golf with us.
Looking forward to it.
Check it out now, but before you do that, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss a single episode of Backstage with the Simple Church podcast. You go to on the iTunes, wherever you listen, Spotify, and on YouTube. You can see us.
I just like us.
Have you ever listened to a podcast and never seen the people and then actually watched a video of them?
Nope.
Okay, I have. It's weird when you're
No, I've only listened to podcasts and never actually watched a podcast.
But then when you see the people on it, it's like, oh, they're real people. That's what they look like.
They're real people.
Not robot voices. But you can do that on YouTube. Go subscribe to our Simple Church YouTube channel right now.
And like us.
That's right. Please. Scott needs it.
Help the children.
Check out this episode. I like That's pitiful.
That was awful.
That was bad, Scott.
I know. I'm sorry.
Scott, we're here with a couple golf guys today.
Yay! Golf guys.
And do-good guys. Let's go around. Let's go youngest to oldest. Introduce yourself. Tell us who you are and why you're here today.
My name's Chris Bullock. You say how old I am?
Oh, you're the younger.
You don't have
the whole guy
to.
go
You don't have
last.
to say age.
He's 82.
It looks great for 82.
Yeah. Chris Bullock, I'm here today to talk about the Do Good golf tournament that's coming up on May 7th. So.
Yeah, but you're talking about more than that.
Well, we're going to talk about life group.
Ooh,
and
there you go.
Doing good.
all that, doing good
Doing
in the
good.
community and about the fellowship that we have together whenever we get out.
There you go. And we got the loose cannon, the wild card.
The deacon.
Somehow we let you on a microphone.
Hey, I'm Kurt Joyner. I'm 28.
28.
40. No, we're glad to be here. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You guys are some of the group that run the Do Good Golf Tournament that's coming up in a couple weeks, but you're also a part of a life group. So let's start there, Kurt. I think you've been around there longer. Tell us a little bit about your life group and kind of how it got started and what y'all do.
I think we got started right at 13 years ago, right after the church began.
Wow.
And actually, they didn't have a lot of life groups at the time, but Justin had a life group of about, I don't know, it ranged anywhere from 10 to 20 people. And we met at the church office. And then as we started to grow, and Justin had too many other obligations, we kind of split off from that. And I forget, we've had a couple of different leaders. And I don't know, I guess I was odd man out. I ended up being next. But we've had a life group just about ever since the church started.
Way back. And
Way
so,
back.
Chris, when did you get involved?
I've been with Simple Church for probably 8 years or so, and Evan, you remember we used to host a life group for the high school ministry at our house. And,
I have a soft spot in my heart for any student ministry volunteers. Thank y'all for opening your home up. You had 2 great kids.
Well, thank you. Well, whenever those kids started getting off and going to college, we realized that we weren't volunteering in the high school as much, and didn't have that life group at the house, and so I was looking for some place to get plugged in, and so started looking at the different life groups. I think we had one of those days at church where you could go around and get cards or find out the different groups that were there, and I saw the bikes, and I knew Kurt from our history at Louisiana Tech and association with that, and so we started talking, and I knew what the bike group did and decided I wanted to get involved with them. I've been with the life group probably 3 or 4 years now.
That's awesome. So the bike group, Kurt, is what y'all are known as probably the
Yes.
most. You didn't start off being known as the bike group, but it's a pretty cool story of what you guys have done as a group. Tell us some of that and how y'all got to be known as the bike
Yeah,
group.
yeah. What made you decide bikes, first of all?
I've been thinking about that. By the way, we used to be known as the Jacked Up Bunch, but
Still
and
probably
still
that.
are.
Yeah.
Still
still
are.
are.
I like how
But,
polite you were on that.
One year, I'm not sure exactly. I've been trying to think whose idea it was, but the first year we did it, and I'm not real sure. somebody suggested that we do a bike project because it was a good thing to do for poor kids. And the first year we did it at Bossier Elementary, I think we started off with about 30 or 40 bikes maybe.
So y'all raised money as a life group.
Right,
And
right.
you went and bought bicycles for kids, gave them away at Bossier Elementary on Christmas time. It was
Yes.
just a really, really cool thing. And we've shown the videos over the years and done it, but that's where the origin of that started.
Yes, and from that, it became our life group kind of started growing a little bit, and it became a kind of a passion or with our guys within the group, and we decided, hey, let's expand this. Let's try to go to 80, and so we went to 80, and I think we were out. I don't know exactly how we were raising money, but we were getting people to support us, and from that, I guess about the third year is we had several golfers at the group. Might have been about the time Chris came along too, because he's a golfer, and they decided, let's have a fundraiser golf tournament. And so, putting on a golf tournament is quite complex, a lot of moving parts. But the first one we had, I want to say was it at Huntington, Chris?
That was actually before
I
my
thought it was
time.
I thought it was at Stonebridge.
Was it Stonebridge?
We did one at Stonebridge and we did one at Huntington.
Yeah,
So I
I'm
think
pretty
I've
sure
played
the
both.
first one, because I played in the first one, and I do believe it was Stonebridge.
Well, it very well could have been. And I think we had maybe 10 or 12, 15 teams. I'm not real sure. But we've been blessed since then, and it grew and grew. The first year we did at Huntington, to kind of bring back memories now, I remember it rained pretty bad,
Yep.
and we had to hold up, and the pro eventually let us go out there. It was just pretty sloppy, but we had a lot of fun. I think we had around 20 teams. But 2 years ago, before the last year's pandemic, we actually had 28 teams, which was just
It's the biggest one ever, right?
God blessing. I
Yeah.
mean, it was a wonderful tournament, and people had fun. We had some good prizes, and people have been very supportive, and I think people know that you can give a donation, whatever you want to do. You can get a tournament through the church, and then to us, so it becomes a tax donation. And they've been very supportive of it, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah, but I want to go back to something real quick. Once again, why decide to give bikes to the kids at Christmas time? Who or what happened where you went, you know what, let's get these kids some bikes?
I think, there's the schools that we've been going to, we're up to where we try to pick 2 from the Bossier area and 2 from the Caddo area. How shall I say it? Less fortunate when you show up at a lot of these schools. Some of these kids just get nothing for Christmas, and so one of the things that we thought would be a kind of a all-around item that would be good for people would be a bike. For instance, one of Evan's questions to Chris and I was, do you have any cool stories? And I don't know, I may be jumping ahead.
Go right ahead.
About 3 years ago, we were at Caddo Heights Elementary, and the infamous Rick Rowe came out. And y'all probably knew. He did about a 4.5-minute story. It was called Wise Men Still Come or something like that. You can go back and look it up. In fact, I did yesterday. He's phenomenal. But there was a young kid there named Kenny, and they had picked 60 kids, because we gave 60 to Caddo Heights. And this young man had no idea he was doing good in school. Somebody was raising him. He had lost both his parents that summer to heart attacks or some kind of fateful disease. He had nothing. And he was doing good in school, and so they picked him, and he had no idea what he was getting picked for. They lined those kids up.
And y'all normally do that, right? It surprises the kids that day.
Surprises the kids up. Surprises the kids, and we come walking in there, and that kid, the smile on his face, I mean, it literally, there's not a year goes by that you don't see grown men cry. and it's just emotional. Usually, a lot of the parents or guardians will come up afterwards. They're usually most thankful, and young lady came up that was keeping him and said, "Oh, I've been working so hard to try to save to get him a bike, y'all." And he was just thrilled. And just about every year you hear a story like that. The counselors from the schools are usually involved in it, and they have tender hearts, and they're usually quite emotional. So it when you see that after all the work that you put into it by putting on a golf tournament, and then some of our guys give to the group anyway, and you have the money, people know that we're not trying to hoard the money. We're trying to use it for projects to do good. And it's when you have those 2 days of deliveries, there's nothing like it.
And what I love about that story is you guys aren't church staff. You aren't professional do-gooders. You all have jobs. You all have careers. But you got together and came up with this common way to do good. And now it's something that's brought y'all together. You stay in a life group. You stay connected. You do something to help. It's not just about you and getting and receiving, but y'all give. And it is such a cool inspiration that now, over this however many years, how many bikes roughly do you think you've given away?
Yeah, I was thinking about that, Chris. What do you think? I'd say it's probably in the neighborhood of 1,500 to 2,000.
Yeah.
By now.
Wow.
So somebody listening to this might think, I could never give away 2,000 bikes. That's just impossible. But you guys, by doing it, by growing slowly, by trying to get together, by working together as a life group, have done this thing that seems so big and insurmountable that you got together. And now 2,000 kids in our community have gotten bikes and done good. And that is just so cool. And I'm so thankful for you guys. And I really hope anybody listening that didn't know that or doesn't know how to get started or what to do, or maybe they have this dream or this passion, it starts by just talking to people, being in a life group, getting connected, not doing it alone. So, Chris, you want to jump ahead? Do you have any stories since you've done it or anything you've seen?
Well, I don't have the history with the bike group or with the bike distributions that Kurt has, and I've actually only been able to go out and do one delivery. But every time we get together, there's always we do our devotional, we do our life group session, and then we kind of break out into business and talk about. We're talking about the bikes all year long, and what do we need to do, and how do we prepare for that, and all of the planning, all the time that goes into that, 30 minutes or an hour of going to the school and dropping the bikes off. There's so much more that's gone into it before that. And one year I was, able to go out, to go to the storage building and loading up, 250, 300 bikes onto a truck. And the guys getting together and doing that, and how do we stack them in? And you get guys together, and there'll be great stories from that. But then afterwards, we go and we have dinner together, and then we plan to, over the next 2 days to go to 4 different schools and put these bikes out and stage them, and then kind of sit back and watch these kids come out, and just the smile, the astonishment on their faces, and then you see the parents in the back and the teachers in the back that are such an influence in these kids' lives. To see their smiles and see the light in their eyes, it just really is a blessing. And almost a week doesn't go by that one of our guys doesn't come back and say, "Hey, I ran into so and so from this school, and they just came up and gave me a hug and said thank you." And hearing those stories, hearing the impact and the way that kids' lives are being touched, and the teachers and the administrators' lives are being touched as part of this as well. It's great to be a part of a group of men who have such a giving and loving heart.
That's awesome. And I think one thing Simple Church has tried to do since we started was be in the schools. That it's not an event where they have to come to us. We don't have a building, so you can do it anyway. But it really has been intentional and strategic of, we're not doing a Simple Church Christmas bike event. We're going and giving these resources to the schools to support the administrators, the people that are there day in, day out with those families, and trying to just help come alongside the school and do good with them instead of, we know better, we're going to do it our way. And I love that. And it's extra work and it's effort on you guys' part and lining up the schools and working with the administrators. But that is such a cool thing to me of you are part of Caddo and Bossier now, going in all these different schools and being a part of what they're doing already, just adding to it.
I think that's one of the things that we really missed about last year, that we were impacted by the pandemic, is that we weren't able to go out and do this in 2020.
But you were able to give bikes away because you partnered
That's
with
right.
the Shreveport Police Department community officers.
That's correct.
And
Scott.
you weren't able to do it in the way you were used to doing it, but you were able to give the bikes away because I was a part of that.
Yep.
Because I had to drive the bikes not actually drive the bikes.
One at a time. It took a while.
But I drove the trailer with the bikes.
There we go.
And delivered them, and we were actually able to give them out to some families that were in desperate need of a lot of stuff. But it was a cool deal, and we were able not just to give away bikes, but also help partner with the Shreveport police officer and the community officers and give away thousands of toys with those bikes that they had collected and that we had collected. That literally the KWKH, or at least it was KWKH. I guess it's something else now. But anyway, that whole building was full of toys. So we were able to give away the bikes with those toys to all those families in need during a pandemic when you couldn't really go into schools and do all that.
Yeah, I was Spud Wilson, the infamous ice cream man, and I,
Mr. Spud.
And of course, if the TV camera's on, Spud will find it. Excuse me. No, we just decided to go and watch them that day and kind of be in the background. And it was cool, and we were glad to help. It made us feel a little bit better, thanks to Carl Richard, who ends up usually getting the trailers and dragging these things around. And you know, I brought this to the guys in January. I got the nicest thank you note from the former police chief, Chief Roberts, who's a member of our church. Yeah, y'all know him probably. And he wrote the nicest note and said, "Tell you guys how much we appreciate the help." And, you know, it makes it all worth it. And he didn't have to do that, but the power of the written note. Do y'all know anything about that, Scott?
I'm old, Keith. Keith. You're not Keith. Kurt. I'm sorry, Kurt.
That's okay. He can't really hear anyway.
That's right. He didn't hear anything you said.
Yeah.
But Kurt, I'm a big believer in the written note, and I'm somebody that does handwrite thank you notes and volunteers, and I think it does matter. There's something to that.
It makes an impression. Yep.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I agree.
Well, let's talk some golf, guys. Y'all are both golfers. Me and Scott are very bad golfers.
No, hold on. You are not a bad golfer. I'm a bad golfer. Evan Semenko's throwing himself under the bus. Evan Semenko with the squat can hit a ball.
Justin has made fun of me for years.
Yeah,
So
but as much as he makes fun of you about your little move, you could knock a ball a long way, 300 yards.
it's all relative. These guys are real golfers.
But where's it going?
That's right.
Well, no,
that's a problem.
Hey, no, his generally, although when he's off, it who knows, but when he's on, it's going straight.
Scott, we just played this week. I played for the first time in 2 years.
And he
picked up
did
a golf club.
great.
Let's
He
get over
did
that.
great.
But Scott, you almost took $10,000 to $15,000 of your pastor's
Yes,
money.
I did.
Last week. Tell us
did.
what happened.
So, as stated before, I'm not a great golfer. I don't play as often as I should. I don't practice because, I don't know, I'm lazy. Anyway, but I love golf. I love being out on the course. I love everything about it. But you know, I can't hit a ball all that great. And we were playing in the FCA tournament, and there was a hole where if you landed a hole in one, you got this really nice golf cart. It was like a $12,000 golf cart.
I think he said 15.5 is what
Oh,
it was
yeah,
for.
15.5. That's right, 15.5. I'm sorry. And so
It's going
Justin
to be 32 by the time it's
Yeah, keep-
it's
yeah, the fish was this big.
$100,000. No, but Justin said, because Justin was on my team, he said, if you landed on the green, I'll buy that golf
Not
cart.
a hole in one.
Just on the green. And I got close.
Scott gets up and hits
Close enough to make everyone nervous.
the girl that was working the little thing to give the card away. Said, oh, she's going to give him a golf cart.
Unfortunately,
I would love to have
curved,
seen that.
But I mean, it was headed, but then it curved and went away. But
You know, it's that one shot that you get in a round or a year, you know,
Or
in your
decade.
or decade in Scott's
Yes.
case, that keeps you coming back.
Exactly.
You know,
right.
the fact you said that Kurt and I are golfers, it just means that we're more prone to being addicted to things. We're addicted to that shot, and we want to keep coming back.
yeah, and in fact, the
experiencing.
best
For
shot of my
abuse.
life I've ever had was on Stonebridge Golf Course with Mr. Chris Bullock.
Where was it 3 years ago,
Yes.
and you're still.
No, it was
the
longer.
fact that you still remember
Chris,
it.
it was longer ago than that, my
Was
friend. Yeah,
Time flies.
We're old.
yeah. I haven't had a shot
you're
like
old.
that in like 6 years.
There
Yep.
you go. But we are golfers. We enjoy playing golf. So if somebody's listening to this and wants to sign up and do the golf tournament, Chris, how do they go about doing that?
Well, there's a couple of ways. We have some entry forms, and a couple of ways you can get that. One is if you happen to be at service, then we have a tent set up and a table, and you can pick one up there. I'm sure as well if you call the church office that they can get them in touch with us and get that registration done with that. You can also email us. We have an email account set up for the bike group, and the email address is dogoodbikegroup@gmail.com.
We will put that in the show notes. So if you're listening to this podcast, you can click on the podcast and find all that information and click on there. We can also put a link directly to the form, right? Because it's online.
So that was the next one. This is the
Yes.
advanced move.
Ooh,
You
all
actually
right.
have to get in on Facebook and get in the search bar and search for the Do Good Golf Tournament. And with that, you'll pull up, it should pull up an event. And in that event description, you'll find a link to a form that you can download and print it out if you wanted to do it that way. Or we actually have online registration as well. So you could actually go to a separate website that you can sign up. You can pay online if you want to, or you can pay the day of the event.
Perfect. And where is it and what's the date?
So the date is May 7th. It's going to be at Huntington Golf Club in West Shreveport, and that is a Friday afternoon. We're going to start registration about 12 o'clock. We'll be out there earlier than that. Have a shotgun start at 1 o'clock.
Oh, so it's an afternoon game.
It's an
That's
afternoon
different.
this time.
Play hooky.
That's right.
Skip work, come
A
out.
lot of people now are going
For some of us.
Fridays off. I mean, a lot of businesses
Yeah,
now with
there's a
4
lot
kids
of
and
places
all,
that are not open on Friday. Something.
That would be us. We're not open.
So, one thing to relate this back to the bikes, the entry fee for this, everything that we bring in, we, of course, got to pay for the golfers and pay the course, but all the profits go to the funding of the bikes. And every team that signs up, that funds somewhere between 8 and 10 bicycles that can be given out in those schools. So, direct correlation there between your entry fee and what we're doing and what we're able to do to impact the community.
That's awesome. And there's prizes, there's giveaways.
We do
There's
have prizes. There is food. We'll give you a
Most
box
important.
lunch
From Apollo.
from
Oh,
Ropolos,
there you go.
before you head off. There will be food out on the course as well, and we will have beverages out on the course. We're going to have a putting contest before the shotgun start. There will also be long drive and closest to the pin competitions as normal. And then depending on the number of teams that we have entered, we will be paying top 3 places in 2 flights is what we're anticipating.
Very nice. So,
And it is a scramble format. So, one person comes out, Evan, you can come out and hit the ball 300 yards, put the clubs back in the bag, and let everybody else
Somebody
do their
else putt.
work after that.
we played
far
with
as
Chip
your
Mitchell,
friend.
and he literally never putt the whole day. He didn't want to putt at all.
Yeah.
He's like, I'm just not even
But
going to try.
and Chip did win closest to the pin.
Chip hit one to
By the way,
Yeah.
those little extras Chris was talking about, they are included, right, Chris?
That's right. All
In-
that
in your
is
fee.
included in the entry
We're not
fee.
going
So
to
there's
nickel and dime, 'em,
right.
You should, though. No, I'm
We
kidding.
can.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
but we
He'll
don't.
take the money, but
yeah.
it all goes to do good.
If there's somebody that doesn't want to play, but they'd like to support it, we can also take donations.
Sure.
We do whole sponsorships for companies.
There you go.
Get a sign put out for you for
I
a
almost
hole.
want to sponsor a hole.
The Scott Odom hole.
Yeah. Sorry, that just popped in my head.
There you
Continue.
go.
I'm sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to interrupt.
We can find one with some water on it. Maybe
Yes.
some sand.
Oh, can I sponsor?
and you
Can I
could
sponsor
actually-
the water hazard?
You bet.
Anything you want. Your check clears?
Yes.
You
Boy,
can
we'll
do
get
it.
a lot of money.
I just saw a thing yesterday where a minor league baseball team is letting you sponsor their field for a day. I was like, I might just go and try to figure out if we can sponsor Simple Church Field in Wisconsin, I think is where it was.
Wow.
I was like, that's kind of a cool idea.
Yeah,
But
go get
yes,
some
so to
cheese.
do that, to be a business sponsor, any of that, the best way would be email you?
Email us, or again, that
It
website that we have set up.
has
Actually, you
business
can actually
sponsor
do
form?
the sponsoring from that. So
Awesome.
whenever you select what you're doing, then you can either donate on the website or do the whole sponsorship. We will need to get in touch with you and get your image, company logo, to be able to get a sign printed.
Absolutely. So even if you're listening to this, you're not a golfer, you know a golfer, invite them to come play. But if you have a business owner, we'd love for you to partner with that and be a part of doing good.
Do good in the neighborhood
There you go. And golf.
and golf.
That's right. All right. Any closing thoughts? Anything we missed? Kurt, you got any golf stories? Any good stuff?
No, I don't think
No
I have.
crash.
I will say that 3 years ago, talking about golf stories, most people wait to the day of the tournament to pay us, and that's fine. We just need their names and who's going to be on their team and their contact information, if possible, so we can line it up at the golf course. Gentleman walked up to pay, and he said, "Well, how much is it?" And they said, "Well, I forget what it was. Time $400 or $500." He wrote out a check for $5,000.
Wow.
He said, and everybody looked at it and like,
I think you wrote an extra zero.
Did you mean to do this? Yes. I said, oh my gosh. It was just, people have just opened up their pocketbook and their hearts for this. And I hope we'll continue I hope they'll consider doing it. We have a lot of fun. We're not in this to make a profit. We're in this to get more money, to give out bicycles and
Reach
do
more
good,
kids.
help people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's a service, a service project.
But
that,
it's fun.
My guys have they're pretty humble. They want to be in the background. This is very important to a lot of them because I actually tried to get them to think about doing something else. And because we've done it for, I think, about 8 years, 6 to 8 years. And they said, absolutely not. This is something big on their heart. And so we're going to keep doing it.
There you go. Chris, we'll give you the final word. Anything else to add? Any thoughts?
Thank y'all for having us. We really do appreciate
Yes.
the
Yes.
support and
You're welcome.
You know, y'all and the church helping to promote this on behalf of the life group. And you know, this isn't a, like I said, we're not staff.
Yeah.
You know,
Not
we're,
yet.
we're just a life group.
Yes.
Barely. Depends on the day.
I'm not.
But no,
come on,
that's
come on out and hit golf balls with us. And
Absolutely.
you know,
I'll
if
be
you hear
there.
anybody calling me Crash at the tournament, then find Kurt on the side and get the story for that. So there's your teaser.
That's
Just ask
backstage.
Kurt,
There you go.
Ask Kurt
Oh.
about Crash.
That is
not for the
backstage.
podcast.
Yes, that's
Awesome. Well, thank y'all. Thank y'all for being on. Thanks for what you're doing. It's a big deal to us, and we hope other life groups, other groups of people meet and get inspired and try to find ways to do good too. That it's not just about getting together and meeting. That's a big part, but also that you can help and do something else for somebody else is just a really cool thing.
One more thing, life groups, we'd love to have anybody come join us. We have a great connection. It's very important to us that we pray for each other. We got one guy right now that's in the hospital. Everybody knows about it. It's just a way to connect, and so very important other than just coming on Sunday morning. And if you'd like to join our life group, or come visit us, we'd love to have you.
On that note, thank y'all.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening.
Yes.
Make sure that you give us a review, help people to find the podcast. Let these guys know we appreciate them. And
Yes.
thanks again for being a part of it today.
Play in their tournament.
Play golf.
Woohoo.
Thank you for tuning into this episode. Either you're listening or watching, we really do appreciate it. Those guys are great, Scott.
Yeah, it was.
They're good guys.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And a lot of them are doing good on the Do Good Golf Tournament on May the 7th. So that's coming up.
Yeah.
Sign up today.
And
get
join
a team
a
together.
life group.
That's a great
Even though
thing.
it's coming to the end of the season, there's still life groups going on. They go on year round.
That's right. So this life group is probably older men.
Yep.
Typical, the demographic, if that's what you're looking for. But there's a life group for everybody.
There
Find
is.
one. Check it out on our Simple Church app or the simplechurch.tv.
There's even one that has a whole bunch of off-roaders with Jeeps.
I think that sounds awesome.
No, you don't.
It's not for me,
No.
but it's for you. That's your life group.
That is my life group.
Absolutely. So
Wink.
check one out. Do that today and make sure before you leave, give us a 5-star review. That helps people find the podcast.
Yes.
Subscribe so you don't miss an episode. And make sure that you go and share it and let your friends know.
Yes. Because we're awesome. Because you're awesome.
Thank you for being awesome.
Yes.
Have a great week.
Bye-bye.